And when I do leave, like I'll lock the door, and then like I have to push it just to make sure it's definitely locked, even though like I know that I've locked it, and I walk away from it, and then sometimes I have to go back. Well, usually always I go back and I push it again to make sure it's definitely shut. And sometimes I try with the key again, I'll open it again and shut it just to make sure it's definitely. And then sometimes I can get all the way down the stairs and I need to come back up and do it.
I mean, it can be anything from over-cleaning, disinfecting things in my house, to rituals that I have every day that I need to perform, or else I get under a lot of stress. And it can be quite distressing anyway, but it does kind of interfere in my life. For instance, when I'm going to meet someone new, unless I'm wearing gloves, I might not shake their hand. It might make me feel uncomfortable to do that.
It's mainly about turning things off and unplugging things. Well, that's what it is. It's changed through the years. I've done different things. But it's like when I leave, or when I go to leave the house, I have to go around and check everything's off like a million times, make sure everything's unplugged. And when it's in the kitchen and it's a gas thing and I have to check they're all at 0, there's 5 off, and I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It makes me late for everything. It stresses me out, and it means by the time I leave the house, I'm just like, you know, like in a bit of a state.
OCD is an anxiety disorder, and it has certain elements. One is compulsion to have particular thoughts, you know, thoughts that are worrying and upsetting. Also compulsions to perhaps do things like to check all the time, rituals that you have to go through in order to ensure your safety.
I tend to wash my hands quite often, probably a lot more often than anyone else. If I'm not able to get anywhere to wash my hands, I'll carry antibacterial gel in my pocket. Also, if I see someone coming towards me in the street and I don't particularly like the look of them, I might put my hand over my mouth or pull my scarf or my hair over so I don't have to breathe where they're breathing. When I go out of a room, I sometimes will switch the light off, then repetitively switch it on and off before I can leave the room. I have to do it a certain amount of times.
It was more like discussing OCD with other people, like, you know, people that, so I didn't know it had a title and it was this actual thing. It was just like when I was younger, and just now I've always done things, and I never knew when I was younger what it was. But when I spoke to friends about it, it's like other people do these things and there's an actual condition, and then it's, you know, I've been to a therapist since, so like I know that's what it is.
I realised I had OCD probably when I was about 15 or 16 years old. I think that what had caused it was maybe a combination of two things. My mother also suffers from OCD, and 2 years previous to when I first discovered I had it, we had an unfortunate death in the family and my father passed away, which obviously endured a lot of stress because of that.
So it was really bad, and like when my mum died or when in my miscarriage and stuff, it always gets worse. But I don't know why it would have started in the first place. I don't understand enough about it to know.
It's difficult to know really what causes it because there's still a lot of research required. It may be that there's a biological predisposition to it through some sort of mechanical fault, if you like, in how the brain functions, or some chemical, you know, element of how the brain functions, but also environmental influences like negative childhood experiences might be involved.